Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. This is the max out day for the third week of the program that I'm currently on, and it went amazing. I took a caffeine pill. I've been doing those before my workouts, each one of them, and I've been noticing a much more consistent amount of energy that I have between workouts. I still love drinking coffee, and I drink it in the morning and whatnot, so it's not as if I'm popping caffeine pills all day, but at least from thinking it, I guess, in a more scientific perspective, it's better to have one less variable in my training, especially one that's very important, the stimulation that you're getting from the caffeine, and having that be a consistent amount, so I kind of know what I'm going to feel like when I'm working out. Generally, obviously, you're more tired on different days and whatnot, and other factors playing with like food and the amount of sleep and school, whatever stuff like that. But I don't have to worry about the way that I make coffee, or if I use too much grounds or not enough grounds or too much water, stuff like that, influencing the amount of caffeine I have. It's a very consistent amount, and I definitely noticed that it's a very consistent amount. At least it seems like it. But on this day, when I got to the gym, it like hit perfectly, and I was hyped for snatches, and I was feeling really good. Got in, warmed up real quick, and just started popping off, and everything felt really good. I was able to hit. I would say it's a PR with the power snatch. I don't know if I did it before. I used to only do power snatches because I couldn't get to that bottom position without the bar falling off. Mobility wise, I could, but I did not have any shoulders at all. I don't have any shoulders now, but I really had no shoulders back then. But I think this is the most I've done. It's definitely the best power snatch that I've done for the weight. If I did it before, it was like a split and it was ugly and whatever. But this one definitely felt really good. It looked really good. And so with that 215, I went up to 225, and that was matching my lifetime PR on the snatch. And despite it kind of looking difficult on the way up, the reason for that is because I didn't fully bottom out on the snatch, which is something that as the weights get heavy, it just happens. It's kind of like with the cleans. You notice that I'll kind of catch it at a position to where someone who actually has strong legs might be able to do a power clean from there. I just don't have the strength to do it with my legs, and the same holds true with the snatch, and more so with than my quads being the limiting factor. I definitely think it is my shoulders that are a limiting factor with me being able to stop the weight before I get to the full bottom. But with the 225, today was the exception, to where I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I powered it, but I definitely didn't like fully bottom out and have to like reestablish my balance at the bottom, which is a huge step for me to be able to do, because I essentially, was able to think that I'm doing a power snatch and then do a regular snatch, which is kind of the proper way to think about it. Before, I kind of just had to decide whether I'm doing a full snatch or not, and just kind of commit to going to the bottom, regardless of where I establish that overhead position with the snatch. But I did 225, and it wasn't the prettiest snatch, but would have counted in competition, despite obviously not with straps. But as far as like locking out the arms and stuff, and definitely is progress. Is 10 more pounds than last week, so that's really good. And I didn't have any misses going up to the only miss I had was at 235, which is the one weight that I missed. I went to that after the 225, and looking at the video, I was actually pretty close to doing it. When I caught it, the bar was just a little bit ahead on my left side, and just was off balance slightly, so I was probably a little bit early. I just had to get it behind me a little bit more, but I think that's the second time I've tried that weight. I feel like I've tried it one other time, and I think it was when I did the 225 snatch the one other time. So hopefully I'm able to kind of hit the 215 consistently and hit the 225 snatch consistently, and start to push up that max a little bit, and start trying that 235 each week, or at least on a consistent basis, and try to push up my max snatch, and continue to make the heavier weights look better. But I'm definitely seeing some strength progress when I'm looking at these max workouts, even from week to week, because the technique on the snatch is improving. And partially that's because I'm getting stronger and I'm able to, just do the weights a little bit easier. But it's also just my technique's getting better, and I'm owning in on it a little bit each time that I do it. So whatever I'm doing during the week is benefiting me, and I'm going to continue to kind of hammer those things home. So hopefully that continues to be the case with snatches. Now moving on to clean and jerks. Those I thought went pretty well. I didn't have any misses until I got to my top set, which is really good. 285, and I failed that twice. I failed once on the clean. I just caught it forward. I was early, and then on the second one, I failed it on the jerk, which, according to Justin, said it was a pretty good attempt. I was kind of annoyed I didn't get that. I want to get to the point where I can do 285 consistently and have that be not like a guaranteed make, but one kind of like how 215 and 205 have been on the snatch, where just about any workout I'm able to hit that, and I guess 215 slowly turning into that kind of number that I'm able to consistently hit. 205 has been like that for a while. 200 was like that before. So it's kind of like a sign of building strength. Because I remember the last time I did a strength program like this, or this, I guess, exact program, the my best snatches were where I hit PRs. I think the best clean and jerk I've had, or I mean, I keep saying snatches, I mean to say clean and jerks. The best clean and jerk I've had is 290 pounds, so I mean, I'm going really close to my max anyway, so that's a positive, and I'm able to consistently, go up to those weights with smaller incremental jumps. And that's a big difference I've made from the previous program to now, is instead of making 20-pound jumps at different times, I'm making 10-pound jumps, and I'm going to continue to, I mean, once for the snatches, once I got to 165, then I made 10-pound jumps all the way up to 235, and then for the clean and jerks, after 235, went 245, 10-pound jumps from there. I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable, like I think I'm pretty good. I'm going to hit 215, so I'm going to start my 10-pound jumps a little bit higher. So instead of going to 165, I'd go to 155 to 175, then do the 10-pound jumps and see if I'm able to hit the same numbers. And do the same thing for clean and jerks, see if I can go from 235 to 255, or go from 225 to 245, and see if I can make that 20-pound jump and then make 10-pound jumps to see if I'm able to perform in a similar fashion, and continue to kind of push those up, because that kind of establishes that I'm able to make a higher jump at lower weights, and it shows that I'm building the strength to do that, and to do it on a consistent basis to where my performance isn't drastically changing. I'm liking doing the smaller jumps at the heavier weights, because it's allowing me to be successful with heavier weights more consistently. So for the snatch, I was able to hit the 225 before the 235, and for the clean and jerk, I was able to do the 275, and even though I missed the 285 twice. So despite not hitting the weight that I wanted to hit for the week, I was able to hit pretty darn close to it. And honestly, with the program that I'm doing now, because it's so strength based, I'm not even really worried particularly about how I perform on these days. Obviously, I want to be able to do more weight. I want to have good form and all of that stuff. But if I have a week where I don't go as high because I'm fatigued, that's kind of the point of the program. So what this shows me here is that I'm either quickly adapting or my form's getting better, a combination of both. And it's allowing me to perform better on these max out days, which I enjoy being able to go up, try new PRs and whatnot. I'm hoping that I'm able to do that, as well as increase the intensity and volume during the week through those little incremental jumps in the weight. Hopefully that trend continues, and I continue to progress nicely with this program. I'm doing really well so far, and just have general aches and pains and whatnot, but I think I'm getting pretty close to hitting the snatch PR. I definitely, Justin thinks I could have went to 230 and it would have been closer at that. And that may be something, an adjustment I make next week with the weights that I do, just to start with the 2.5 on with each set. So instead of doing like 235, I'm doing 240. So a little bit of a different, they would be similar, like 10-pound jumps or the same exact thing. I would just have that 2.5 with the lighter weights. So for like snatches, instead of doing 185, I do 190, then 200, then 210. Go up by that, and allow me to hit something that's incrementally closer to hitting a PR, at least maybe potentially even hit a PR. So we'll see how that goes next week. But like I said, everything went really well this week. Oh, I should talk about what happened after the maxes. So my best snatch day was 225, best clean and jerk was 275. Which is really good. It's pretty close to my meet competition, which was, I think, the most I've done together in one day. I don't know. I don't worry about like totals for a random training day. I'm just worried about the individual lifts. But after I did those two maxes, I went and did some pulls where I did some clean deadlifts with 415 for a 3x3. Then I did a 5x5 with a closed grip bench press with 225 pounds. My accessory work, if you want to call it that, I had to go extremely quickly because my parents drove down to Cincinnati to give me and my roommates one of the old fridges they had for one of the rental properties. So that was really nice of them to drive, because it's 3.5 hours for them to do that. They brought me some food, which is also really nice. whatchamacallit, from Chick-fil-A, which is really good. I really almost never go out to eat anywhere, but it's always nice to have that every once in a while. Chick-fil-A is actually really good. But they brought me some of that, and they brought the 2 dogs, which is also nice to be able to see those. So it was a really nice Saturday, despite having to go through my pulls really quick and through my bench presses super quick. I was able to get back in time before they got here, and was able to get that new fridge, and I'll be able to use that bad boy tomorrow, and we'll be able to spread out all our stuff a little bit more, which will be super nice, because we really had enough space in the actual fridge part of the fridge, but the freezer got very jam-packed, and just because we got like frozen vegetables and frozen meat and stuff like that, and the fridge had enough space for the 3 guys, but the freezer has not. At least when we all go shopping, it ends up being a big puzzle figuring that out. But everything's going well with that now. Since I got the new fridge, is that to go clean that out, which I'll probably do on Saturday night, because I get turned on Saturday nights like no one else. So I'm gonna go get that taken care of. So I'm gonna end the commentary here. Like I said, Max Out Day went really well. Hopefully that continues to be the case. Oh, one last thing I wanted to touch upon, SBDs. I think I might have mentioned this last week, but I'll throw these SBDs on Saturdays only, and then just wear my knee wrap things, which are lighter than these, during the week. And that's less that I think like SBDs are these magical things, but I think they keep my knees warmer than the knee wraps. And I want to treat these Saturdays kind of like how I would have stuff on at a competition, and then have during the weeks where I'm just having things on over my sweatpants, because I can't really put the SBDs over my sweatpants, and I like wearing those when I'm doing stuff because it keeps my legs warm and allows me to warm up a bit quicker. And yeah, I'm just not throwing on SBDs all the time, because they're they're not terribly difficult to get on, but they're definitely more difficult to get on than the knee wraps. But anywho, I'll wrap up the commentary here. I will talk to you all in the next one. Another productive week, and hopefully next week will be the same. But I will talk to you all in the next one. Peace.